Yo, top Billin. All right, man, your boy Josh Gordon is back. What does he mean to a potential Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl run? Man, he could mean a lot. If you really think about it, they never have really two things that match, right? Whether it be through injury or through scheme or just whatever. It's like nothing is ever hitting on. I don't want to say nothing, right? Never use absolutes, right? Never speak in absolutes, but usually when your man DK Metcalf is balling, Tyler Lockett is absent and vice versa. So I'm always thinking about a guy who could do the heavy lifting because there's going to be, let's face it, right? There's going to be some team that's able to stifle both of them at the same time. And then who can pick up the pieces from there? A guy like Josh Gordon, man, if he had his head on straight to begin his career, we could be potentially talk about a Hall of Famer right now. I mean, this guy is that talented. Even to this day, he's just a freak athlete, and he's one of these guys who can definitely do the heavy lifting, man. I've seen him with multiple back-to-back double-digit catch games. He can go up and get it with the best of them. He has some serious wheels. And, man, he's very much built in the mode of DK Metcalf. Maybe not as explosive vertically downfield, but everything else. I mean, body type. I would even say he's better in even exchange situations going up and getting the ball over people. As we see right here, the man has some serious hops, even on the hoops court. But, man, his route running, I think, is a little bit more serviceable than DK Metcalf, and his hands are extremely reliable. Tell me this right here. What would you guys think about 10 personnel? The use of 10 personnel. No need for Will Dissly and all these guys. Not all the time, right? But just really spreading them out and taking control of the vertical passing attack and really working in some horizontal stuff as well. But just going 10 personnel, 4 wide receivers, Lockett on the inside, maybe along with David Moore. Obviously, I want more Swain, please. But your guys on the outside, Josh Gordon, DK Metcalf. How do you do that? You can take all the attention off of DK Metcalf then because you got somebody else who can go get it vertically down the field as well. But, hey, it is what it is on that front, man. Let's go ahead and get into a little bit of a film study and see some of the stuff that he did with Seattle previously.
What more can I say?
Top Billin. All right, so this is along the lines of what I was talking about right here. If you're talking about running 10 personnel, which is obviously 1 back, 4 wide receivers, and with the type of backs that Seattle has, all these guys can catch the ball. You can even have it in a 5-wide spread. That right there works to Seattle's strength, in my opinion. Seattle could throw the ball all over the yard the entire game and win the game, right? Especially if they do it most of the quarters and then let Chris Carson hammer the ball home, or Chris Carson working from out of the spread with the light box. They're eating. They're absolutely eating. But if you think about it like this, right, working from a spread here, all right, so technically this is still cheetah personnel. You have your tight end right here. He's going to be working to the flat. You're going to have your guy in the tight slot. He's working a drag. And, of course, you got Mr. DK Metcalf. Don't compare me to one of the greatest football players of all time, Megatron here. DK Rodman, as the people calling him in the comment section. He's getting vert up the field. And then you got your boy Josh Gordon right here, right? Just doing the heavy lifting. Right, because this is one of these things right here. When you got a guy like, say, Tyler Lockett, you work him on the inside, he's going to go down faster than a $2 hooker. He wants no problems, right? He wants no contact issues. But a guy like DK Metcalf and a guy like Josh Gordon, man, they can get in, they can take an inch into a mile, if you get what I'm saying right there. So working the quick game and having those guys get explosive gains from the quick game, just the fact that they can break tackles, and both these guys can run, but DK Metcalf is the guy you want to get his yards through the air. So he's going to be constantly working vertically down the field. That's going to lighten shit up right here. So they're working pretty much man-to-man coverage here. You're still going to have these guys working their deep third coverage there. So, but if you can see right here, my man's able to work underneath. This is really nothing. I'm just trying to show you the pathway to victory right here. And you can see him getting by Richard Sherman right there. Easy money. Easy money. And don't let there not be any help right there, right? Richard Sherman is a different animal, right? He's a freak. He can tackle a guy like Josh Gordon. You got some of these small-ass guys like a Darius Slay or somebody like that with no help shaded towards Josh Gordon. Obviously, he can break a tackle, and he's got a lot of space to run. Matter of fact, let's go a little closer on that. All right, we can see him coming right off man. Not off man coverage. You know what it is, right? deep third covers there. So meeting them vertically. Sherman patient, but it doesn't matter. Look at him be able to stick that foot in the ground, cut that angle. He's such a big body right there, man. It's very hard for people to compete in that aspect. Shows a big target. He's a hands catcher, right? That's what he does, right? He's a hands catcher. He's gonna pluck shit out of the air. He's a guy that can move the chains for you right there. And he's about to get his colon clean right here too by Tart right there. But Tart didn't really want none of that funk. Let that have been little ass Tyler Lockett. He would have launched himself all crazily into that man. But when you hard like prison bars, they don't want that funk. All right, don't get it twisted now. Josh Gordon serves a huge purpose in the vertical passing game as well. So that's what I'm saying. If DK Metcalf can't get there, if they're shading covers towards him, Josh Gordon can do very much some of the same things, right? At one particular point in time, he looked like a clone of Terrell Owens. He's that damn dope. So you can see right here, he's going to be running vertically here. They're going to have what pretty much amounts to quarters coverage, right? You can tell by the safeties and how they're riding the stitches there. James Bradbury, my man James Bradbury, played for the New York Giants, so you should be seeing him this weekend right there. But he's on the other side, so always keeping him away from DK Metcalf. So on these kind of vertical plays right here, they want to try to keep everything in front of them, so everybody working vertically back there. All four deep people in the coverage shell. All right, check it out. Russell on the pull. Who do you look at? He hit him with the Lockett launcher. It wasn't even Tyler Lockett, and he still hit him with the Lockett launcher. That ball be getting way up there. Check it out one more again. Look at that. This man, Dante Jackson, can run his ass off. But if you got DK Metcalf threatened vertically as well, you're going to probably have to have somebody that's shaded towards him because there's probably not too many people that can run with him. Well, let me quit right there. When you get to the playoffs, man, shit is going to be a little bit different. The defenses are going to be much better. The personnel is going to be much better as well. So that's why you got to have all hands on deck here. But as you can see right here, it doesn't matter. Josh Gordon splits the difference, and he lays out for it. Oh, look at that. That's hard. Guy's a freak, man. All right, so earlier in the season, I talked about the automatic go, right? Single high coverage, right? Running a post safety there. Especially with Josh Gordon on the other side, DK Metcalf, he should get an automatic audible to go ahead and fly it down the field. But guess what? You have it both ways now. No disrespect to Tyler Lockett, he can go get it as well, but there's just a certain threat there when you got a guy who can fly down the field 6'3", 230 pounds, because it could be an adjustment route, it could be a side adjuster, whatever like that. And like I said before, you leave that man on an island with somebody much smaller than him, he's gonna break a tackle, and he can take it the distance just from breaking the tackle out in a lot of open space here. But this time DK gets the call right there, and you can see you got to be respectful of that. You got to be respectful for what Josh Gordon brings to the table right there, and that just leaves your man on the island, and you know what DK Metcalf can do. Russell did a good job of looking that off too, but he goes and gets it this time over Dante Jackson. Wind that back. But you can see what did the post safety do? He's got to look towards Josh Gordon too. He has to respect that. Even though Russell's looking over here, it's a legitimate threat because Josh Gordon is a hell of a red zone threat. He might be the best red zone threat on the team just because of his skill set and how high he can jump and his ability to catch there. So I think it was Boston, he went towards Gordon, leaves DK Metcalf on an island. Now who's going to do that? That's just scary, man. So you guys get the gist of that. I don't have to go into great detail about that. Remember, this is only for the last couple of games of the season. He still has to go through some compliance type stuff and, of course, COVID testing and everything. So leading up into the playoffs, a good guy to integrate really quickly, and then he just makes some other stuff open up. He may not be the primary guy you go to, but he's a guy that can be a primary guy if you have to go to him. I wholeheartedly believe that, even with the rust and everything, he's just built like that. All right? So tell me what you think about the addition of Josh Gordon out there. It's your boy Murf, the Underground King. Keep it locked. Make sure you subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend and all that jazz. And I am out. Peace.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.